This chapter focuses on clearly understanding the current as is process and its existing capability before any improvements are planned. The team studies how the process actually works today by mapping key steps, inputs, outputs, roles, and handoffs using tools like SIPOC or process maps, while also reviewing available performance data such as cycle time, defects, rework, and customer complaints. By establishing baseline performance and identifying variation, gaps, and constraints, the organization gains a factual view of current capability, which helps avoid assumptions, aligns stakeholders, and provides a strong foundation for defining the problem and improvement goals in the define phase. The define phase of DMADV process mapping is used to clearly understand the existing process before redesign, starting with SIPOC to define suppliers, inputs, high-level process steps, outputs, and customers, and then moving to detailed process maps to capture actual workflows, handoffs, decision points, delays, and rework. This as-is understanding is combined with baseline capability analysis, where current performance data such as cycle time, defect levels, error rates, service levels, and variation are analyzed to determine how well the process meets customer requirements today. Establishing this baseline capability provides an objective reference point, highlights gaps between current performance and customer expectations, and ensures that the redesigned process in DMADV is driven by data rather than assumptions. Even though DMADV focuses on designing new processes or systems, in many cases it involves redesigning an existing one, which makes a deep understanding of the current state essential before moving to solutions. This chapter enables the team to clearly understand how the process works today, identify gaps, inefficiencies, and customer pain points, and evaluate current performance and capability to understand why it is insufficient to meet customer requirements. By answering these critical questions using process mapping and baseline capability analysis, the team establishes a factual baseline that directly guides and strengthens design decisions in the analyze and design phases. Process mapping helps visualize how work currently flows and is a critical activity in DMADV, especially when redesigning an existing process. Even if the entire process will be replaced, understanding the current steps, inputs, outputs, stakeholders, and customer touchpoints is essential to identify where delays, errors, rework, waste, bottlenecks, duplication, and over-processing occur. By making pain points visible, process mapping ensures that ineffective practices are not carried forward into the new design, helps identify key X's that influence performance, and provides a strong foundation for accurate requirement gathering and data-driven design decisions later in the analyze and design phases. SIPOC is a high-level process mapping tool used in the define phase of DMADV to establish a clear and shared understanding of the current process boundaries and scope. It identifies key suppliers, critical inputs, major process steps, outputs, and customers, ensuring alignment on who provides what, how the process flows at a macro level, and who receives the outcome. In Chapter 3.1, SIPOC helps the team quickly understand the existing process capability, clarify customer touchpoints, surface obvious gaps or mismatches between inputs and outputs, and set a solid foundation for deeper process mapping, baseline capability analysis, and informed design decisions in later DMADV phases. This SIPOC diagram provides a high-level view of the current customer service process and helps the DMADV team clearly define process boundaries before moving into detailed analysis or redesign. It identifies key suppliers such as customers, sales teams, and enterprise systems, the critical inputs like orders, inquiries, and product data, the major process steps involved in handling orders, support requests, and metrics reporting, and the resulting outputs delivered to internal and external customers. By summarizing the end-to-end flow at a macro level, SIPOC ensures shared understanding across stakeholders, highlights key customer touchpoints and dependencies, and establishes the baseline context needed to assess current capability, identify gaps, and make informed design decisions in later analyze and design phases. SIPOC provides a high-level 360 view of the current system and is typically used early to create clarity and alignment before detailed analysis begins. It is especially valuable when the process is not clearly documented, when multiple stakeholders are involved, or when the team needs a common understanding before moving into detailed process maps. In Chapter 3.1, SIPOC helps align the team on process scope, key inputs and outputs, customer touchpoints, and ownership, ensuring that everyone is working from the same baseline understanding of the current process and its capability before deeper measurement and redesign activities. SIPOC explains the current process at a high level by clearly defining its 5 core elements. Suppliers are the people or systems that provide inputs to the process, such as doctors, customers, or vendors. Inputs are the materials, information, or data that enter the process, like prescriptions, claim forms, or data files. Process represents 5 to 7 major steps that show how work flows from start to finish, for example, review, validate, process, approve, and close. Outputs are the final results produced by the process, such as approved claims, filled orders, or processed cases. And customers are the individuals or groups who receive and use these outputs, including patients, insurance members, or business clients. By simplifying the process into these elements, SIPOC provides clarity, alignment, and a shared understanding of the current system before moving into detailed analysis or redesign. SIPOC provides critical insights into the current process by clearly identifying who affects the process through key suppliers and stakeholders, what inputs have the highest potential to create errors or variation, which outputs are most important from a customer and business perspective, and which customers truly drive CTQs. By making these relationships visible at a high level, SIPOC helps the team understand where design requirements will come from, ensures customer-focused thinking from the start, and establishes a strong baseline for data-driven decisions in the analyze and design phases of DMADV. Once the SIPOC is completed and the process scope is clearly defined, the team moves into detailed process mapping using flowcharts to understand how work actually happens at an operational level. Flowcharts capture step-by-step activities, decision points, loops, rework, and handoffs, making delays, errors, waste, and complexity visible. In Chapter 3.1, these detailed maps help uncover hidden inefficiencies and failure points, clarify roles and responsibilities, and provide the depth needed to link process steps to performance issues, enabling informed baseline capability assessment and stronger design decisions in later DMADV phases. This detailed process map uses a flowchart to show how the purchasing process actually operates step by step, including approvals, decision points, alternate paths, and loops. By visualizing activities such as requisition creation, approval decisions, payment method selection, and documentation flow, the team can clearly see where delays, rework, handoffs, and control points exist. In Chapter 3.1, flowcharts help move beyond a high-level SIPC view to uncover operational complexity, identify risk and error-prone steps, and establish a clear baseline of current process behavior that supports capability assessment and informed redesign decisions in later DMADV phases. Swim lane diagrams extend detailed process mapping by clearly showing how work flows across different departments, roles, or systems, and how responsibilities are handed off during the process. By organizing activities into lanes, the team can easily identify ownership, interactions, dependencies, and delays caused by handoffs or coordination gaps. In Chapter 3.1, swim lane diagrams help expose cross-functional inefficiencies, communication breakdowns, and accountability issues, providing a realistic view of how the current process operates and establishing a strong baseline for capability assessment and effective redesign in later DMADV phases. Value stream maps are used in DMADV to distinguish value-added and non-value-added activities across manufacturing or service processes, making inefficiencies visible from an end-to-end perspective. These detailed maps reveal the hidden factory by showing the actual process versus what is documented, highlighting delays, rework loops, excessive approvals, and waste that slow performance. In Chapter 3.1, teams closely examine handoffs that increase error potential, repeated checks that signal poor design, multiple approvals that extend turnaround time, manual data entry that presents redesign opportunities, variations that indicate lack of standardization, and customer wait times that trigger the need for a new design. This insight ensures complexity and waste are intentionally eliminated rather than carried forward into the DMADV solution. When redesigning an existing process in DMADV, it is essential to measure how well or how poorly the process performs today in order to justify why redesign is needed and to clearly understand which CTQs are currently failing. Baseline capability analysis answers how severe the performance gaps are by examining defect or error rates, performance against CTQs, sigma level or z-score, process stability, natural and assignable variation, performance trends over time, and the underlying data distribution normal or non-normal. In Chapter 3.1, this baseline provides an objective, data-driven reference point that explains why the current process is insufficient and ensures that design decisions in the analyze and design phases are focused on closing real, quantified performance gaps rather than perceived problems. Baseline capability analysis helps quantify performance gaps across industries by linking real business problems to measurable capability indicators. In BPO environments, issues such as high average handling time and low QA scores typically indicate poor process capability, often below 1.33. In pharma, high batch rejection rates are reflected in low sigma levels, usually below 3. In insurance, frequent claim approval delays are measured through turnaround times exceeding SLA limits. In manufacturing, high defects per million opportunities result in high DPMO and low Z-scores. And in finance, incorrect reconciliations are reflected through high error percentages. Capability analysis helps us understand how our current process performs against desired targets. It identifies gaps between actual and expected performance, highlights high variability areas that need robust design, and pinpoints the CTQs that must be addressed in the new solution. It also reveals steps causing the most defects, risks to customer satisfaction, and areas where automation, error-proofing, or redesign is required, providing a clear roadmap for improving process effectiveness and ensuring the new solution meets customer expectations. This chapter, Understanding Current Process Capability, fits into the measure phase of DMADV. Here, we examine the current process in detail, uncover pain points, assess actual performance, and identify gaps between customer expectations and reality. By understanding what is broken and must be redesigned, we set the stage for the analyze phase, where root causes are determined. These insights then guide the design phase to create a more robust future state, and the baseline data collected here also supports the verify phase by proving that the new design delivers significant improvements.